here's Clark again. Through again he goes. He's got Tutu with him. It's Ioane, in fact. Enrico Ioane.
Looking back at our last podcast, it was a couple of weeks back now. We looked at a potential All Black backline. So just a review for our listeners. This is I'll give our combined backline just sort of based on our overall picks. Now I've gone with for the majority, but where we couldn't agree, I've just pulled rank and stuck with the guy that I picked. But this was our combined All Black backline. So at 9 we had Roigard, or unanimous on that. 10 McKenzie, which you two went for. I didn't like McKenzie, but we went with the majority there. 11 Caleb Clark, that's me pulling rank. 12 Havili. We couldn't agree on a second 5, so I'm pulling rank on that one. 13 Rico Ioane, we got two votes there. 14 Mark Talia. Now we did that the podcast team before he'd announced he was signing overseas, so that might be up for debate now. And 15 was unanimous in Will Jordan. So I thought we would look at the starting forward pack. So the criteria was there was an All Blacks test this weekend. What will be our starting forward pack? So I hope you guys have got something to go. Rog, mate, I'll get you to go first. And I'll give you the chance to redeem yourself, because we got a lot of comments about the backline you picked last time, and it wasn't always positive. But mate, forward pack. I hope you got a forward pack going for the All Blacks. Can you run us through one?
Yep. I'll have an honourable mention for Ollie Norris at 1 on the loose head side, but can't go past the grind that Ethan de Groot puts in for the Highlanders, being one of he's their sole All Black at the moment. And so I think Ethan de Groot, despite the challenges from a lot of good loose head props at the moment around the country, he's my mainstay at loose head prop. And number 2 is an interesting one, because you've got a few guys who've had a taste of All Black honours at the moment, and you got Asafo more of honourable mentions for the Hurricanes. Taukei'aho, who's just coming back and getting a lot of game time, just clocked up as 100 for the Chiefs. Can he come back? Last year he was injured for the majority of the season. Has he played enough to get back into the number 2? I think Cody Taylor's still our front runner, even though he's more mature, longer in the tooth than a lot of the young guys behind him. But Riccatelli I reckon, can push for a spot inside the 3. But Cody Taylor's my hooker still, and proving everyone wrong, still being able to score tries, whether it be muscling it up through defenders or at the back of a good maul and a good drive, pick and goes. And he scored again on the weekend. I think he's up to about 15, 16, maybe more career tries in Super Rugby. I could be wrong. Might be close to 20. At number 3, without looking at it too deep, I still rate the incumbent on Tyrone Lomax. So staying with him. Reason being is that he's our senior man in the 3 who can cover for 1. Ofa Tungafasi, have we seen the last of him? In his mid-30s now. He's got a season-ending injury, unfortunately. He's been in there for the long haul with the All Blacks and the Blues. One of the most capped Blues players. And a senior member of the All Blacks party as well. But Tyrone Lomax, for me, is still my best pick at tight head prop. In our locking department, I believe the versatility of this man for the Chiefs in Tupou Va'ai. He's our boy that will front there, alongside contentious selection. He's the captain as well, and Scott Barrett. He's had a couple of good weeks recently and proving his worth. What I like about Barrett at the moment is that he's trying to steer clear of the cards, but he's integral part of that Crusaders team that are near the top of the table at the moment. Now into our loose forwards. But honourable mention for Fabian Holland. I don't know if he's capped at the moment, but he's a Dutchman. But he's playing down in the Highlanders, and he's one of the most tackles, and that's who they've got to watch out for on the weekend as well, Fabian Holland. But he's been outstanding in the lineouts and outstanding in general play, defence, sound. So honourable mention for Fabian Holland. Could he be a bolter? We've got Sam Derry that bolted last year. He's out for the season. Whether he's back for international duties, not sure. He's one that I just thought I'd just throw in the mix. Now to our number 6, 7 and 8. For mine, having waited patiently to see him do his thing, number 8 is Wallace Atiti. So if they were to put him in, even though with the limited game time, we've seen enough in that cameo. Now he just needs to put it together in a starting team. Who do we come in with him to cover a lot of those loose forward positions? Peter Lakai. I think he's proven himself at the Canes. He's had a taste of international rugby as well, but just awesome carrying, defending. He's everywhere, and so real reliable. So him and Wallace Atiti are even pegging for me. So far, Peter Lakai has had 107 carries and 122 tackles thus far in the competition, and that's why he gets a mention alongside Wallace Atiti. With number 6, I like the look of Christian Leowili. For the Crusaders. I'm going to probably get some stick for this. 119 tackles. He's beaten 18 defenders. He's turned over 8 times, and he's got 385 carry meters. I know stats only are stats, right? But the work that this kid goes through, he's not a kid. He's in his mid-20s now, but he'll be someone that I reckon can shore up our flanks. And whether it be 6 or at 7, he's your go-to. And he's building a reputation for himself, not only in Crusader country, but throughout the Super Rugby competition. And number 7, we've got, obviously, Karifi, 150 tackles. That's where he's sitting at the moment. He's a defending machine. He's a turnover king. And that's why I take he will be there at number 7. Obviously, you can't leave out Savea. Savea will be in there as well. So Savea will be, wherever Savea is, all those guys that I've mentioned, they've got to filter in around there.
So where are you putting Savea? Where are you putting Savea? 7, 8, 6?
7. But then Griffey will bounce at 6.
Oh, no. Okay, wait. Joey, talk us through how you see the All Blacks forwards 1 to 8.
Jeepers, Rog. Okay, so let me just give you a bit of rationale as to how I made my selections. My ones were purely based on the criteria, which is form over reputation.
Okay. We take Wallace Atiti out for now then. We'll take Wallace Atiti out. We get Savea at 8, Karifi at 7, Leo Woody. Oh no, Peter Lakai at 6. That's fine. Lakai at 6, Karifi 7, and Savea at 8.
That's better. I mean, I'm a massive Wallace Atiti fan, but you can't give him a break based on a part role in the Chiefs' win.
Mate, it wasn't just a part role. That was impact. That was an amazing role.
So yeah, as I said, my selections are based on the current Super Rugby form for Super Rugby Pacific, and emphasising the players who are peaking at the right time. There's a bit of balance. There's a bit of versatility. The My Chosen Pack offers a mix of experience, the Wallace-Titi athleticism and adaptability, to make sure that, all facets of forward play are covered.
So are you including Wallace Atiti in yours?
Potentially. We'll get to that very shortly. I also want to make mention that, incorporating, seasoned leaders isn't necessarily part of my selection criteria, even though it should be, but it isn't necessarily. Okay, I'm going to go through my top 8 at the moment because it's forwards, it's not backs, right? So here we go. My number 1, I tend to agree with you, Rog, that Ethan de Groot is hard to go past, being that he's been the cornerstone of the Highlander scrum, and he's consistently providing that powerhouse stability and has the work rate to justify his selection. He's been great for them for a number of years, not just this season, but currently I can't go past him. A mention would be Xavier Numia. I'm a fan of his.
I like that. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a fan of his, and I think he has a bright future. My number 2, unfortunately, I have to disagree with Roger's selection.
Which one?
And my number 2 is your selection was Cody Taylor.
Oh,
Is your first choice. My selection just finished celebrating his 100th Super Rugby game recently. Taukeaho. Purely and simply because I think his form and his dynamic ball carrying and his accurate line-out throwing have been instrumental in the Chiefs' strong performances, and it's really hard to go past that. And I think he's now established himself as a leader within the pack at the Chiefs and also to a degree at the All Blacks. That consistency makes him a standout choice at hooker for me. Cody would be a close second, so he's on the bench. My tight head prop, I'm quite particular when it comes to my tight head props in any team that I'm looking at. Doesn't matter if it's All Blacks or Blues or Chiefs or Crusaders. I always look at the tight head prop and I go, does that tight head prop do anything for the rest of the team in terms of their scrummaging prowess and mobility around the park? Are they doing the do for the team? So I've taken all the factors into consideration, and I've landed on
Tony Latu.
Not necessarily the team, but the individual, which is Fletcher Newell. Fletcher Newell's ability to maintain a high work rate and contribute effectively in the open play, for me, solidifies his position in the front row as the tight head, because we no longer have immobile tight heads who are just big lumps running from scrum to scrum. They've actually got to be, effective, and I think he's effective. Even though he's not an Olive Brown looking or Carl Heyman looking tight head prop.
He's
but we don't judge it. We don't judge on looks. Number 4, another one who comes from the same team, Scott Barrett. As the captain of the All Blacks, he's obviously got that leadership experience, and he's got the physical presence that's undeniable. He is a quietly spoken leader within the leadership group at the All Blacks. I think he brings all that experience to his current form. He's obviously got the line-out expertise to go with it, and to go with his position as the lock. So I've got him as my number 4 lock, and his defensive capabilities as well continues to be a reason for his selection, both at the Crusaders and I think the All Blacks. Number 5, this might come as a surprise to you both, especially since I'm a big Pari Tuipulotu fan, and I'm a big fan of other locks as well. My number 5, just based on current form and what I've seen so far, is Tupova Tupova has shown me in what I've seen, growth, especially this season. He has become a bit of a reliable figure in the Chiefs for me. I think he's just getting wiser and better, and he's got the athleticism and the line-out skills as well to complement Scott Barrett's style of play. So he offers a balance to the second row partnership. And I think when it comes to second row partnerships, it's key when you're selecting your All Blacks. So he'll be my number 5. Number 6, this is a big one for me, especially because I'm a massive fan of Lakai, and I'm a massive fan of guys like Sam Benifino. This number 6 I think he's underrated this season in particular. But he's come back from injury. He's shown why he got selected as an All Black in the past, and he's quickly re-establishing himself this season with current form as a energizer bunny and a tackling genius, if you like. His ability to basically disrupt opposition ball and his support in attack makes him, for me, a valuable asset to the current ABs if they were to be chosen this week, and that is Ethan Blackadder. I wasn't the biggest fan of him when he first came out, but I think based on current form, over the reputation of other more established sixes, he's my current guy. 7, this will be very controversial, number 7, I think, because... And there's a good reason why I've chosen this guy in particular, and that's Dalton Papali'i. Despite the Blues' mixed results lately, his individual performances have, for me, been consistently high. His breakdown work has been awesome. His support play work has been awesome. And he's been showcasing his skill set. And there was one game in particular where I thought, oh, okay, I'm paying you attention. And that was the Blues versus Moana, where I believe, and I'm not sure if you guys agree, he nullified Ardie Savea. He kept Ardie Savea quiet. I was watching him because I was at Eden Park, and I was watching him in particular, and I thought he dominated Ardie to a point where Ardie was just quiet, and he wasn't able to inspire his team the way he normally does, because Dalton was just having a stellar game. My number 8, much to the disbelief of you two, I think, my number 8 isn't obviously Sotutu in this respect. Current form, I have to give it to Ardie. It'll be blasphemous if I was to give it to anyone else at this point. I'm a massive fan of Sotutu, but Ardie's my guy for this particular, and it's obvious. You don't need to say much. He shows on the field every week why he should be chosen as the current number 8 for the ABs. Bench players, Cody Taylor, as I said. Props would be Tungafasi. No, I don't believe we've seen the end of him, Rog. I think he's still got much to offer. I don't know what that looks like in terms of seasons, but I still believe he has much to offer the current playing group. It's hard for me to go past anyone other than George Bauer as a reserve prop, because I don't know too many of the other props, and I haven't heard of them to justify having them in this current squad if they were chosen this week. George Bauer has the versatility for me and the strength in the front row to deserve a spot on the bench. My lock is obviously Paddy Toips. He just brings that physicality and leadership whenever called upon, especially in the AB's jersey. I think he just grows another leg when it comes to getting selected for the ABs. I don't know why it's so different when it comes to the levels, but not to say that he doesn't play well as a Super Rugby player, but I think as an AB, he's just something special. Loose forwards on the bench for me would be Jacobson. I'm not the biggest fan of Jacobson, but our current form, I'd have him there. And especially Peter Larkai. I'll definitely have Peter Larkai there. Another guy, a notable selection for me would be Karefi. And like you said, Rog, he's just relentless when it comes to stealing the ball. He's just so good. He's kind of like a Tawatawa Nawai, or whatever his name is. Sorry to mispronounce the name if I have. Yeah, so there you have it. That's my team. That's my bench. Not sure if you guys agree or disagree, but I do agree as well with you, Rog. If I had a locking bench player, it would be Fabian Holland. He's amazing. He's only 22.
Young fella.
Young fella.
He's got
only
big
22.
ticker.
And my other loose forward would be Wallace, obviously. I'm pretty biased because he's come from LaSalle, but he's got he's a big future ahead of him, even though it seems like he's been around for a while. He's only had, one season in the All Blacks? 2?
Mm.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to more of his dynamic play style and his versatility around the park, especially in the AB's jersey.
I thought there's some interesting selections, and it does show that some of those spots are still up in the air. So I've done my one. Ethan de Groot, we're unanimous, so that's a good start. He's one of the best scrummagers in the country, and I think the set piece is really important. So at hooker, Rog, you went with Cody Taylor. You went with Tokiaho, Joey. I'm going with you, Rog. I think Cody Taylor, he's been in there a long time. He hasn't done anything wrong. To me, he holds, but the chasing pack, it feels like they're getting there. And that Moananu as well. He looks like he could be a player.
Oh, Moananu.
So early. I'm just checking his name out. I'm not picking him, but it's just early days. He's a guy who could potentially be an All Black hooker of the future, in my opinion. At 3, this is a bit surprising. No one really talked about him, but I like Mighty Williams. He's listed at 6'5". He's good around the field. The size of him helps him with the lifting and the set piece. I've gone for Mighty Williams. The locks, we are unanimous. To Scott Barrett, not in great form, but he is the All Black captain, and we don't really drop All Black captains these days. So he holds, just because he's the captain. Tupova as well, we all are unanimous on that one. And he served a long apprenticeship. He was behind Whitelock and Retallick for 2-3 years, and he's better for it. So this is really his time to be a starting lock for the All Blacks. 6, we've all gone in completely different directions. I've gone for Sami Penny Finau. He's a genuine line-out option. He's a massive dude, and the All Blacks are getting consistently out-muscled. I want to have a big guy at 6, which is my criticism of your loose forward trio there, Rog, is they're a bit undersized, and I wanted a massive 6 because my other loosies that I picked are potentially sort of smaller-ish guys. So Artie, I'm picking Artie at 7. He's doing a great job for Moana. He's potentially the best 7 and the best 8. I'm picking him at 7. And I think he can do a good job there. He was essentially moved to 8 to accommodate Sam Cane. Now I think he's back at 7 now. And at 8, I know he's just come back, but I'm with you, Rog. I'm giving Wallace a TT.
Hold on.
10 minutes. I saw that 10 minutes was enough to convince me that he should be in there. And I need Sami Penny now to be there because 7 and 8 are a little bit small-ish. So I need a massive 6 and Sami Penny now. And that is my pack. So just for our listeners, Ethan de Groot, this is the combined team. Ethan de Groot, we all agreed on. Taylor 2-1. We couldn't agree on 3. So Lomax 1 vote, Mighty Williams 1 vote, Fletcher Newell 1 vote, Barrett and I unanimous. 6, we couldn't agree on anyone. So we've got Christian Leo Willie, Sam Penny, and Blackadder. 7, Adi Savia got 2 votes, properly air vote, and 8, Satiti, he's only got 2 votes. and you voted for Severe at 8 there, Joey. So it just shows that there are a lot of positions up for grabs, and with, I guess, a month-ish of football ahead, anyone can sort of grab those jerseys if they're prepared to put their hands up in these times. So anything you want to add, boys, before we start to close up soon?
I think, okay, just in terms of, I know I left out some Benny Finau, but I believe he needs a massive mention, because to me, that guy he's a bit of an enforcer.
Yes.
He just brings a physical presence to the field that no other, including my 6 that I chose, brings. I chose Ethan Blackadder, and he's excelling
Different styles.
with each game, with his defense. He's got some powerful tackling, and he's got some effective ruck work as well, which I'm a big fan of. So, Benny Finau, if you listen to this podcast, I've definitely got you in mind. Recent form, Ethan Blackadder got the edge over you just because around the field work, I liked his ball in hand, and I need you to do a little bit more around that, the ball in hand, and get out of the rucks. You're doing too much work in the rucks.
Nice.
That's all.
Nice. Roger, any last words on that one before we move on to our next?
No, that's all good. Some Benny Finau is a worthy contender. Yeah. No arguments here.
All right, boys.
I noticed, Rog, Adi Savia wasn't your first choice.
No. I wasn't saying that he wasn't my first choice. I was just saying that these other guys that wherever Adi goes in first, and these other guys slot in around him. I mean, depending on whether they play Adi at 7 or play Adi at 8, then you got to slot Karifi, Peter Larkai, or Wallace Atiti in and around there. How can you pass up? How can you pass up Savea?
I bet if Kane was still playing, you'd choose him as your first choice.
Hey, the criteria is current players, current form, mate. And even Stacey saw 10 minutes was enough. Wallace Atiti, he's in there.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. The Lucy's was a bit of some of the hard ones because there's sort of 7, 8, 9 guys who were capable. Right, boys, we're just about to wrap up. So our TAB account, $10 multi. I'll go first, though, so you guys can come up with something. We haven't really got anything prepared, but I think the Blues are about to skyrocket. I'm going to pick the Blues to hit 50 this week against the Force at home. Blues are going to put them to the sword and absolutely pump the crap out of them. So Blues to put 50 on the Force at Eden Park.
Yes.
That is my pick
I like
for the
it.
week. Anyone want to jump in with something for our multi?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm same as you. Blues by 15 plus, and why? Because they are Roger, the reigning champions.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
You have to emphasise that.
2, at home, they are just formidable. Okay. 3, they're eager.
Chiefs beat them in the first game of the season.
They're eager to solidify their top 4 standing. Okay. 4, the
top
Force
4.
have
They got to get
struggled.
in. They got to get into the 6 first.
Don't worry about that. They'll get to the top 4. The other reason, number 4, is the Force have struggled on the road. Okay. And number 5, the Blues' depth is just far too, powerful. The attacking prowess should actually see them through comfortably, which is why it gives them a 15-point buffer, at least, the very least. So yeah, Blues will start that little rampage at 7:05 p.m. on Friday, May the 2nd, Eden Park in Auckland. So tune in, guys.
I think the Blues listened the last time you gave that speech and they got a good win. So hopefully that's an ominous omen for us. Mate, Rog, have you got anything for our TAB account? Anything you want to chuck in our multi?
Going to go stay with Tate McDermott, score anytime.
Ooh. I like it.
Yeah, I like that as well. That's not bad. Right, boys. I think that's us. Unless someone's got anything else to say, we're about to wrap up our pod. Mate, Joey, you got something, Rog?
Oh, no, go Joey first.
Oh, yeah, Joey, mate, just get some final thoughts. Just in wrapping up the pod, brother.
Yeah, well, final thoughts are Blues have question marks right now at this point in the season, and so do the Blues fans like myself. Can the Blues maintain their momentum and secure a top 2 finish at least? Their depth and experience will be crucial in these coming rounds. 2, the Drawers' home fortress. Will they be able to continue that impressive home record, which makes them a formidable opponent? And like Rog said, Churchill, they've got a better record there than they do at Suva. Their flair and their unpredictability will add excitement to the competition, so we're looking forward to that game. I'm picking draw by 5 for that particular game. The Chiefs' consistency. Will the Chiefs, keep consistent for the rest of the season? Their attack and their defense, will it be as strong as it has been? And will they be genuine contenders for the title? It's obviously, theirs to lose at this point. Brumbies, I think their structured play and discipline will see them go far in this competition. I'm not so sure they'll go all the way, but they will go far. I think they need to keep dominating the set piece. And, this clash with the Waratahs this weekend will test their adaptability. Waratahs is still my pick to win that game because of youth. Even though it's at the Brumbies' home ground, I thought it was the Waratahs' home ground. I'm going to stick to it. Highlanders, I think those guys, they need to show some resilience. And I think the Moana, attacking threats will prove whether or not the Highlanders' home advantage will play a huge part. So, with all those said, I think it's a weekend week of exciting Super Rugby games about to be played for round 12. Tune in, folks, and especially to that Blues game, because this, like Stacey said, could be the turn of the season. Will be the turn of the season.
I like it. Rog, mate, any final words from you, brother, just in closing up?
Just special mention to all of the celebrations that we had over the weekend in remembering our fallen soldiers from the wars served and the Anzac ceremonies throughout the country, and especially at the beginnings of the games over the weekend, this past round. As mentioned by Joey, condolences to the Tuve Tiainga out here in West Auckland, Tom, Helen, Fo, Lily, Molly, and Tai. And your dear mother, we are standing with you in our prayers and thoughts. And also we lost a stalwart at Waitemata Rugby Club on Saturday, 26th of April, at around 10:30 a.m. Grant Kopua passed away at home, surrounded by family. He was a man of humour, passion, humility, hard work, selflessness, and a great man in the kitchen, and was always ready to help anyone at any time. Grant is the current Waitemata Rugby president, elected and honoured to be president at the AGM in February this year. He's a life member of his beloved club, and up to this year he had been part of the premier team management for a number of years, even hailing back to the 2003 Gallagher Shield victory at Eden Park, our last reign as champions in the Auckland Club competition. During his many years at the helm of the premier team, you'd always see him on the sidelines every Saturday looking after our players. He often would throw a few digs out to the opposition teams to unsettle them in grunter fashion. Come Thursday training nights, Grant was always present, not only running the waters, filling the bottles, but always with his superb culinary skills. He would be in the kitchen making dinner for all the players after training on the night. This is a few of the many things he did for his beloved club. He has touched many hearts and souls through his constant love, overwhelming support, and delicious cooking. Our prayers and love are with his family and friends, especially his wife Karen. Grunter, you'll be missed. Then also another special mention, 33-year-old former Blues player, Auckland AB and Samoa player, clocks up 150 for the Bristol Bears this year, Stephen Luatua. Go well. And also my final special moment, having represented his country 62 times between 2000 and 2011, he was an icon of the European game in England and France. Over 200 first-grade games for the English Premiership and top 14 in France. For Bouillon, Sale Sharks, Racing Metro and Lyon. So here earlier this month, he has no recollection of his illustrious rugby career, admired by many across the globe. Is really, really sad. We wish Sebastian Chabal, all the very best. Those are my
Nice, brother.
Nice. That's a good way to end the pod. Also, we'll leave it there. The pod is available, guys, on usual podcast platforms, so Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and many more. So keep listening, and don't forget to click the subscribe button. Joy, mate, thanks for being part of the pod. Rog, you too, brother.
you.
Thanks for sharing your guys' rugby knowledge and your enthusiasm. And sometimes we don't always have the same agree. We're not always on the same page, but it's good to have those robust debates. So cheers, boys. Thanks for our listeners, and we'll do it all again soon. And thanks, Cam, for the editing. Cheers, boys.
24.
So for